Russia says it will end cooperation with other nations on the International Space Station until the sanctions put on the country are lifted. Dmitry Rogozin, the head of Russian space agency Roscosmos, announced in a thread on Twitter that the restoration of normal relations between partners on the ISS and other projects is only possible with the complete and unconditional lifting of illegal sanctions. In translated versions of his tweets, Rogozin says he appealed the sanctions in letters to NASA, the European Space Agency, as well as the Canadian Space Agency. Rogozin also posted images of what appears to be each country's response. The Verge reached out to NASA, the ESA, and the CSA to confirm their authenticity but didn't immediately hear back. The U.S. continues to support international government space cooperations, especially those activities associated with operating the ISS with Russia, Canada, Europe, and Japan. The letter signed by NASA Administrator Bill Nelson reads, "New and existing U.S. export control measures continue to allow cooperation between the U.S. and Russia to ensure continued safe operations of the ISS." The CSA appears to have a similar response to Rogozin's request, stating, "I can assure you that Canada continues to support the ISS program, and is dedicated to its safe and successful operations." Meanwhile, ESA head Joseph Ashbacher replied by saying he'll pass on Rogozin's request to the agency's member states for "The position of our partners is clear. The sanctions will not be lifted," Rogozin says. "The purpose of the sanctions is to kill the Russian economy, plunge our people into despair and hunger, and bring our country to its knees." Rogozin adds that Roscosmos will soon determine a date on when to halt Russia's involvement with the ISS, which will then be reported to Russian government officials. Rogozin reacted strongly to the sanctions imposed by President Joe Biden in February, making an insinuation that the space station could come crashing down to Earth without Russia's involvement. As my colleague Lauren Grush points out, Russia's withdrawal from the station has the potential to do real harm, as NAS relies on Russia to maintain the ISS's position and orientation in space. On Thursday, NASA said Russia was moving toward extending its cooperation on the ISS until 2030, but Rogozin's statements make this seem unlikely. Earlier this week, NASA astronaut Mark Van Hey safely returned to Earth aboard a Russian Soyuz rocket with 2 cosmonauts. Prior to his arrival, there had been concerns about his return home amid Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, but Roscosmos maintained that it would not strand Van Hey on the ISS. Related, US and Russia still tethered by International Space Station during Ukraine conflict. In this stream, Russia invades Ukraine. The latest news on connectivity, cryptocurrency, and more. View all 87 stories. Recommended by